Hey, what's up everyone? So there was a Dissidia livestream on November 7th, 2017, and I'm going to fill you in on what you might have missed from this video. So we've been filling out the villain side of the roster over the last few months, and the last character we're supposed to get this year is Golbez, who will be released soon in the arcades. He's a new marksman type who has a similar gimmick to Shantoto. He starts the battle with his Shadow Dragon, but once someone hits him with an HP attack with 1000 or more bravery, the Shadow Dragon goes away and he's forced to fight without it until he's knocked out. The Shadow Dragon makes his attacks more powerful, and he really seems like a force to be reckoned with. He can use his X skill to bring his Shadow Dragon back if it's been knocked away, or he can unleash a really powerful attack if he uses X skill while a Shadow Dragon is available. He's pretty different from his previous playstyle in past Dissidias, but he looks pretty cool and he's a welcome addition to the roster. So now we've got a hero and villain from the first 10 Final Fantasy games, and it brings the total roster count up to 28 if you include Noctis, who's been previously confirmed to be released for the console launch. We're still missing Gabranth, Tifa, Gilgamesh, Yuna, Laguna, and Prish from the past Dissidias, but the team once again confirmed that all previous characters will eventually get in the game in an interview a couple of weeks ago, so it's only a matter of time. Square also announced a new stage during the livestream. It's called Stellar Fulcrum, and it's from Final Fantasy XI. It's a pretty big map with a mix of flat sections and slightly raised or lowered sections. There are a couple of elevated pathways that lead to the center where a beam of light will emit, but it doesn't seem to have any effect on the players. Seems like a pretty cool map and not too extreme in any one direction. With the addition of this map, that just leaves Final Fantasy VIII as the only mainline Final Fantasy game without a map, while currently having a character represented. I'm sure this will change by the time the console game launches though. So moving on, there were a couple of cool cosmetic items announced as well. Ultimisha's first alternate costume is Idia, which I know a lot of people were hoping for. They also showed another set of alternate weapons for her, which changes up the look of the weapon she summons in her attacks. They also show Cloud of Darkness's different color tints for her original outfit, and a cool new weapon for her as well. As far as balance changes go, there were just a few tweaks, mostly focusing on Vanguard characters. First of all though, there was a small buff given to many of the underused generic X skills. The most popular X skills are picked by far more often than most of these, so they reduced these cooldowns to help bring them more in line. So just kind of rattling them off. Brave Magnet cooldown was reduced to 80 seconds from 90 seconds. Mighty Energy cooldown was reduced to 60 seconds from 75 seconds. Asunaga cooldown reduced to 40 seconds from 45 seconds. Good Time cooldown reduced to 75 seconds from 90 seconds. Shield Break cooldown reduced to 50 seconds from 60 seconds, and the effect's duration was reduced to 15 seconds from 20 seconds to kind of compensate. Force Break cooldown reduced to 50 seconds from 60 seconds. Dispelga cooldown reduced to 40 seconds from 45 seconds, and Bad Time cooldown reduced to 75 seconds from 90 seconds. So hopefully this will help the X skill pick rates a little bit and make players' battle sets a little more diverse. I'm actually surprised to see Brave Magnet get the buff as well, as I've been seeing a lot of marksman characters use it, but a lot of these other ones you almost never see. Okay, moving on to characters now. Starting with Warrior of Light, they readjusted his Bitter End move, but the performance of the attack hasn't changed. The startup animation of his ultimate shield HP attack is immune to vacuum effects now, and the ending lag of the attack was decreased by 20 frames, leaving him a lot less susceptible to being punished after the attack. So Furion received a few buffs on his attacks, most notably his aerial attack chain move has increased horizontal tracking, and now has a higher keep value during the second part of the attack as you move towards the enemy, making it a lot more difficult to interrupt. The attack also is a frame faster, but its range is reduced by half a meter. So this should allow him to connect with this attack a little easier and help Furion out a little bit in the air. Also, the damage of his sword blow attack was increased by 64, and the vertical dive attack by 32. Cloud of Darkness's jet cannon attack had its tracking adjusted, and that's it for her. Cecil had a couple of changes as well. His gravity ball, which is his dash attack in the Dark Knight form, can shoot 10 degrees farther vertically if the target is far above or below Cecil, so it's kind of improving the tracking there. His Abyss Gate attack was reworked a little as well. The range was doubled and the radius of the attack was changed slightly based off of how long you charge the move, as opposed to the duration, which is now the same regardless of charge. In the past, it changed based off of the charge. So also it's more obvious now what level of charge the attack has, so just kind of changing it up a little bit, making it probably a little more usable now that the range has been doubled, a bit better poking attack there. The knockback distance of Cloud's spin drive was reduced and it no longer has a keep value prior to the attack landing. Also, the tracking of Cross Slash was nerfed a little bit more, making it more difficult for him to chase you down with the attack, so those who thought Cross Slash was overpowered during the beta can rejoice. Sephiroth's Zanshin and Gus attacks occur slightly faster by 3 frames per shot, and 4 frames in total respectively. Also, his Surging Sky aerial attack has increased vertical tracking. Ultimisha's unique ability was nerfed a little bit so that it takes twice as many attacks to gain Maleficium. Also, her Spear of Rejection attack occurs 2 frames slower. She's been a top pick ever since she was released and kind of hung around in those top couple of spots, so this might bring her down a little bit. Lastly, Ace's cannon laser had its tracking nerfed a bit. It was buffed some in one of the last live streams, so I guess they just decided they overdid it and wanted to balance out a little bit more. So that does it for this live stream. As far as we know, Golbez is the last character being released for the game until the console launch brings Noctis. Square's announced a 2-year anniversary stream for the game, which is going to happen on November 26th, so we'll see if they announce anything new there. We're starting to get close to January now, so I'm hoping they talk about the console game some, specifically what the season pass entails and maybe some other launch features. But no promises, we're just gonna have to see. So next Friday, I'll have the second part of my summon video out where we take a look at Bahamut, Odin, Alexander, and Leviathan, so stay tuned for that. And after that, we're gonna look at Cloud of Darkness and Golbez, and we'll be getting kind of close to the console launch at that point, so we'll finally be able to put some of this knowledge into action here. One last thing, just want to shout out to Hexakoto for translating these patch notes. I've got a link down below towards a GameFAQs topic that he did all the translations in, so just want to thank him for that. Alright, so that's it from me, so I will catch you guys later. Have a good one.